Hey everyone, I'm Glenn and welcome to episode 2 of the Compendium painting series. In this one, I'm painting flames using fluorescent paints and speed paints from the Armypainter. I started with a white primer and here are all the colors I'll be using. The process is simple, layering white for texture, glazing with yellow and adding touches of orange for more depth. I'm using an airbrush to speed things up, but you should be able to achieve a similar effect with a regular brush. It's an easy but super effective way to get that fiery look. I start with a few coats of lens flare glow over a white primer. Since fluorescent paint is quite transparent, I build up multiple layers to ensure good coverage. Next, I apply radiation glow somewhat randomly, creating variation between bright yellow and orange tones. I keep it light, just a single pass with orange, establishing the base coat, before moving on to layering textures to capture the chaotic movements of flames and embers on this rather even surface. To achieve this effect, I use an expendable brush and stipple on white, creating a random pattern across the surface. There's not much precision here, I just make sure the entire area gets some texture. This step can also be done with a sponge, but I prefer a brush for better control. Now I use an airbrush to apply the yellow fluorescent color. Just a brief pass to create depth. Then I go back in with more white texture. I revisit the areas that already have texture, layering it up to increase depth. This time around I also added white into selected recesses. This will make the next coat of fluorescent yellow pop even more. And here I apply the yellow fluorescent paint, again just a light coat, to tint the new white textures. Back to adding more white textures, but now I make sure to hit the edges as well. Then I follow up with another thin coat of yellow fluorescent paint. Next, I use speed paint to bring in a warm orange, focusing on some raised areas and edges, to create this variation in temperature. When using the airbrush, I add the paint directly into the cup, and it generally sprays smoothly. However, I mix in a few drops of glaze medium to extend the drying time. This helps the paint flow even better and makes cleanup easier. I can simply rinse with water. If you end up with an area that is too dark or orange, you can easily backtrack by adding white texture and layering yellow over it a few times. Now we are back at it again, adding even more texture. This time I'm placing it in the areas I want to appear the brightest. Then another brief coat of yellow to unify the effect. Now more white texture. I begin to shape the flames and embers. I also hit some of the orange areas for variation. You might have guessed it, time for a yellow coat. Now I bring in an orange-red speed paint, applying a very thin coat. Since speed paint is naturally transparent, I control the amount to land somewhere between red and orange. I don't want it to turn fully red. If you end up with splatter or make an area too dark or red, you can easily backtrack by adding the texture layers of white and yellow a few times. Once again, I return to white to build up the final texture layers. Followed by another brief coat of yellow. And here is the second to last layer of white texture. Now the final pass of yellow fluorescent paint by airbrush. For the finishing touch, I apply a last round of white highlights, selectively placing them for maximum brightness. Then I go in with a brush and refine the flames using yellow fluorescent paint, adding extra depth to the newly textured areas. Afterwards, I follow up with the orange speed paint and the red-orange speed paint as well. To sum it up, I started with a base coat of fluorescent yellow, followed by touches of fluorescent orange. From there, I built up layers by alternating between white textures and thin coats of fluorescent yellow. I then apply a touch of orange speed paints in selected areas, before repeating the white texture and yellow layering process a few more times. Next, I introduced a bit of red, keeping it closer to an orange finish. After that, I went through a few more rounds of textures and fluorescent yellow layers. Finally, I added the brightest white highlights and refined everything with a brush for the finishing touches. I think I would like to revisit this technique another time, maybe refine it or even try different colors. If you would like to see me do something like this again, let me know in the comments. With the outer areas of the flames complete, I mirror the process on the other side and finish the base rim with 2 laps of black. I hope you enjoyed the video and perhaps learned something new. If you found this content interesting, you can support me by sharing the video, leaving a like, commenting below and subscribing to the channel. You can also check my other content for more tutorials and painting tips. If you would like to see who controls these flames, you can watch episode 21 of the Oathsworn painting series, when that video gets released. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day.